SML Brodown with Field Journal 007 Primetime 000. Got some quick hitting topics today. We're going to go over a little bit of the past before we can talk about the present and then the future. Prime, let's recap what exactly went wrong with last season. And before I turn it over to you for that question, you took the Chiefs for a couple of reasons. One, it was a win-now roster. Two, kind of keep it fresh, breaking the habit of just playing as the Colts. What happened at the end of the season, or just how did your season go to where you inevitably didn't win the Super Bowl? And what are some things that you have changed or are trying to change for this season? Hello?
Yeah, I think that last season, while I won 13 games. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Yeah, so last season I won 13 games and I had a very solid record, but I think at the end of the day I didn't have an identity. Really, I had one bad game. It was against Faz where I got blown out. Every other game was within a score. My biggest problem was I kind of felt the need just to kind of air it out all the time. And after I learned, okay, let's use Mahomes when you have to, but let's establish a run game and do what wins football games, which is play balanced and take your check downs. That's what I did. I really learned that just recently, about 5 or 6 games ago. And it's really changed the way I've played the game, and I'm on a 6-game win streak right now. So I just think a lack of identity was my issue in season 1.
Really the last 2 or 3 cycles, if not more, you've been really predicated on the running game. Have you found the running game, or is it still kind of up in the air?
Yeah, I think I have. I'm a 5th leading team in rushing, and I got a rookie running back. I actually took in the first round, like pick 28 or 29, Whitfield. And he's already got 21 touchdowns on the year. He's now a superstar running back with more abilities and X factors to come on the way, I'm sure. And I just think that with the way Madden is now, you've got to adjust to the game. And running, really, when I'm at my best, dating back to other leagues, I use Trent Richardson or LeGarrette Blount. When I'm winning Super Bowls, I'm playing balanced and I'm running the ball. And especially with abilities now, I think you really have to have a good running back to do that.
Looking at Bomber and the Browns, 9-1, Super Bowl champion, only one loss this season, and that would be to Faz, 38-35, Week 9. Since then, he's kind of cleaned up 42-17 against the Falcons, 35-14 over the Bengals. He's got really a pretty favorable schedule down the stretch. The toughest game is probably Spades for him, I would say, and obviously anybody could beat anybody, but I think that's probably his toughest matchup left, and he already beat Spades once this season, 49-35. He's number 1 points per game in offense, 35 points per game. He's 4th against the run, 142 yards per game, 13th of the pass or total yards, and 22nd with 211 yards passing. His defense, top 5 in all 5 categories. So obviously he's playing good defense, running the ball, and probably running some play action off the running game. Chubb is kind of Madden cheese this year. He's really hard to stop, really difficult to tackle those power backs, and Bomber's a really strong running user. Are there any chinks in the armor that you know of that maybe help some people out on beating Bomber?
Yeah, Bomber, we all know he likes running Chubb, and it works. It works very well for him. I think that Bomber is a very vanilla pass. Yeah, COVID's still there. He's not an elite passer. I think he's a good passer, and he runs. He just has a few concepts he runs. He runs them well, but he has a few, and they're pretty easy to key in on. Baker Mayfield is 29th in the league in pass attempts, and passing yards, he's pretty average, I would say, as well. Off the top of my head, I'd have to take a look, but somewhere in the middle.
22-50, 23 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So that's the one key there is only 5 turnovers. We lose you?
You have short yardage situation. It's a lot easier to keep the offense in check. No, I'm talking. Yeah, can you hear me? Sounds like we're having some delay issues.
Had a little delay, and there's a little bit of a gap there where you weren't talking, but we picked up on the short yardage there. He seems like he facilitates the ball well, but you're saying that he's just kind of basic with the passing concept. So you're saying maybe play safe, drop back in the zone, and do what you can to stop Chubb.
Yeah, you got to just sell out on Chubb and force him to 3rd and long situations, and I think you have a shot. I played him. I had the ball at the 2-yard line with like 2 seconds left. I could have kicked it, put it in overtime. You don't win 18 championships by playing to not to lose, so I went for the win, and I got sacked and lost the game. Yeah, he's beatable though. He's not unbeatable.
Is QP as good as what people say he is? Is he as good as 8-2 record, or is it a combination of the NFC being bad and just QP not being for a guy that's talked about by a certain number of cucklers? He's really not. I don't think I've ever seen a game of his be commentated. There's not a whole lot of spotlight on QP. So do you think that he's just kind of overachieving with this roster, or is he as good as advertised?
He's a good player. He was a good player last year. This Lions team's pretty bad, and he's a really good passer. 31 touchdowns, just a 14 picks with Justin Herbert. Dan traded away his X Factor or superstar to be quarterback like a fool. And I just think that QP is a good player. I think you can put him into any conference, and I think he's going to win a lot of games, and he's going to scare you quite a bit, really, with his offense. Um, to me, I think that conference, QP is going to come out of it more than anybody. He's just the best player, really offensively, and he does a little bit of studying as well.
So Noel's kind of my comeback player of the year. He's doing really well. He's 8-4 with the Seahawks. I'm pretty sure he had a winning record last season. I know at least he started out pretty strong with the Seahawks. Playing pretty good football. Yeah, it's a pretty good roster to start with. You got Russell Wilson, the mobile quarterback, very good. He's playing pretty good, well, passing 23 tutties, 11 interceptions, and then almost 1,200 yards rushing with Carson already. I like what Noel's doing here. What do you think about Noel, and who's your comeback player of the year?
Yeah, Noel's a solid player, and for all the hate he got last year for just kind of being a fluke or a one-year wonder.
And at the beginning of this year, he got shit on by a lot of people.
Yeah, Bombers really let him have it actually.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of, I'm rooting for Noel, and he's winning games kind of quietly. Noel's not a chest pounding type of guy. So yeah, I'm pulling for him too. I would say my comeback player of the year. You know what? It might be Noel as well. I like Death Wish as well. I think that DW, well, right now I think he's out of the playoff picture. Yeah, he's right on the bubble there. He had a good Chargers team last year, and some people thought, well, maybe he's just got a good team and he's in a bad division, kind of. This year, he still competed, and he's in a relatively tough division. And yeah, I think Death Wish is maybe not a comeback player of the year, but hey, look, I'm not as bad as what you thought I was.
So I'm labeling this next topic as the Chihuahua. This Chihuahua is all bark, no bite. All right, so my all bark, no bite thus far has been Tiny Titan. Tiny, we used to get on the shows. He was so swaggy, the coolest kid at school. You'd smoke a cigarette with him or a joint in the corner for some of my other high-flying guys in the SML. But Tiny has not done anything. He started out really good maybe before we started this cycle, where in the preseason we were doing the premiere or whatever it was, whatever the fuck it was called. And now he's 5-6, struggling to really find an identity, struggling to pass the football. So Tiny is my Chihuahua of the year, my kind of overrated guy, somebody that was kind of maybe hyped up a little bit at the end of last year and just kind of, pounding his chest a little bit. Who do you got as your overrated player or your Chihuahua?
Yeah, my Chihuahua. Hey, might as well spark the rivalry. It's Dan. It's
Oh,
Dan.
no.
And here's why. Now, hear me out on this.
Okay.
He last cycle he really arrived, and he made 3 Super Bowls,
Sure.
and he's talking, and he's got this. He loves to have this Madden
Narrative.
Messiah, Madden like, oh, he knows all this about the game. He won one of the 3 Super Bowls he went in, fat fingered the other, and completely crapped the bed against RD. This year, again, winning a lot of regular season games.
Mm-hmm.
He finally gets me in the playoffs, but then he can't get past Bomber, who he usually
Can't
beats.
do that.
The guy is a playoff choke artist, and if it wasn't for Faz choking against him, he wouldn't have a Simbardi. As much as he likes to have a self-proclaimed bushwhacker breakdown and tell everybody what they're doing wrong, the guy's only won 1 Simbardi despite having these excellent regular seasons. I think the guy's a little overrated, and he likes to have an image that's maybe not so true.
So you feed into the over to feed into it a little bit. He's 10-1, 10th in the league with 31 points per game on offense, only allowing 21 points per game. And one thing I've realized, it's very easy to play this game when you have a good roster. This is not like in years past where user input really overshined the roster building. Right. And he inherited a pretty damn good team. Joey Bosa, 95 overall. Keenan Allen, 94 overall. Derwin James Jr., 93 overall. Eckler, 91. So on and so forth. Pretty solid team that he kind of mismanaged by trading off Herbert, in my opinion. He hasn't improved that position yet. But it hasn't really deterred him at all either. He's got 10 wins, so you really, I guess, can't fault the process. But he's doing a pretty good job. Don't know if I would call him overrated just yet, but maybe he fits the Chihuahua where he's got the all bark because he's
Yeah,
yet to win. I wouldn't call Dan overrated.
no, I don't think he's overrated. I think he's a good player. I think he's a top 5 player, but with as much barking as he does and criticizing people's moves when he's made some questionable moves and criticizing game decisions when he's had some literally top tier bad game decisions, I would
Right.
say he's a Chihuahua.
Woof woof. Yeah, poor Dan. You know, it's kind of sad now that we talk about it. You know, it's another guy that I'm always impressed by the disappearing act. The guy that you used to hype up quite a bit is
Who's
Future.
that? Yeah, he's disappeared.
What happened with Future?
Uh, I think he's been passed by a little bit. You know, he's just I don't know. The game's changed and he didn't adjust. It seems like maybe like you said, user input has changed a little bit nowadays. Like Grams, for example, he was so good at the bait and switch interceptions. You can't do that anymore.
Right.
I think Madden's just kind of changed the way people's skills are and what skills are good. And some guys have adjusted and some guys haven't. And I don't think Future really has.
Yikes. You know, and solid dude. I mean,
Yeah,
just
good guy. I like him.
kind of sad to see what's happened to his career. He's kind of went down the toilet like me. But you know, another
He's
interesting.
still in the NFC.
What's that?
He's still just a game or two out in the NFC, despite
He is.
how poorly inconsistent. I mean, NFC. I mean,
Yeah.
he's still in it.
He's on the bubble. I mean, he's literally, like you said, probably 2 or 3 games behind for a wild card. He's also 3 games back for the division lead, so that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
The NFC South. NFC South's an interesting one to look at. The fact that Klink's been doing a good job, 7-4. The Panthers, Woods is actually performing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
7-5. Tampa Bay, Paulie, 3-7 with TB12.
Yeah.
The Falcons,
Yeah,
2-8. So Paulie, who likes to be kind of that fiery guy, Paulie kind of likes that center of attention. He's trying to be kind of Prime-esque about it. Paulie's not getting it done. He had a very good roster that he started out with. 3 wins is not good enough. The rest of the NFC, I like that the 2-headed race there with Woods and the Saints. Who wins the NFC South this year, and what's going on with Paulie?
It's hard for me. My heart tells me Woods is going to win, but my brain tells me that Klink is younger. He just knows the game. He has more time to play the game.
Faz helping him. Yeah,
After all that, put it in the pot. I think Klinky wins. Did I disappear again?
You disappeared for a little bit there. I lost you for a second. I asked you. I made a comment about Klink's got Faz helping him, and we kind of lost whatever you said after that.
Yeah, I didn't. I just kept talking, so I'll repeat myself. Pretty much what I was saying is when you factor in all the ingredients of caring more and knowing more and having help, I think Klinky wins the division. And as for Paulie, I think that Paulie, he likes to play stupid. He likes to play dumb and like, oh, I don't know. I don't play the game a lot. Like Paulie likes to play that card. He knows that mobile quarterbacks are the key to Madden 20. What are we on? Madden 22 now?
Right.
And he's made some trades, and I think he's really pushing for next season. I think he's going to do his best to make a playoff push, but I think when Paulie gets some more time to practice and he gets his mobile quarterback, I think we're going to see a much different Paulie for the next half of the cycle.
One guy I want to talk about just for a second, and I'm not trying to hurt his feelings any. I almost hate to do it because he's a nice guy, right? But we're going to do it anyway. We're going to talk about Fins. You talked about the mobile quarterback. He got the quarterback that he needed. 89 speed, pretty good accuracy, 90 throw power, 75 overall. He's obviously going to be at least a superstar, Dev, if not better.
Yeah.
75 overall. And Casey Barnett and Fins have not been a great marriage thus far. 35 interceptions, 40 sacks, 24 touchdowns. What's going on with Fins? I get that it's a loaded division to be in. You're playing against Prime twice a year, that goofy Raiders kid twice a year, and Dan twice a year. So that's potentially 6 losses right off the bat. But to throw 35 interceptions,
Yeah.
I don't like it. What can we do to fix Finn's?
Yeah, and I think me and you are the same way. When you look at somebody who's struggling, we're not like the bushwhackers. We're not gonna make him feel bad about himself. We see a problem here with Finns,
I want to fix it.
and I look at him, and a lot of these games, and I've seen some of his games. I don't watch all of them, but I've seen some of them live, and I've played them. And he's competitive for about 2 quarters, but
Right.
like you said, the wheels fall off the bus. And there's some guys who you watch, and you're like, okay, like there's no helping this guy. Like there's I don't know what to do. This guy's got problems everywhere. If Finns just finds a way to take his check down and throw it away when he's under pressure instead of taking the big sack or throwing a pick, the guy's going to explode in the win-loss column. 35 picks, 40 sacks. I mean, that's your problem right there. Now it's just, okay, how do I fix it? Well, start incorporating the running back more, some more short routes, drag routes, stuff like that. Immediately the guy's going to get way more competitive. That's a super easy fix.
Yeah, and also you've got, I just don't understand how you can be struggling that bad in the pass game. You got Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy to throw to two guys that we're talking about two different guys in terms of passing talent, but pretty good receivers to have there to pair up with the quarterback.
Yeah.
Not to mention 29 players on the roster that are star, superstar, X Factor, or hidden dev.
Yeah, he's got a good roster. I was looking at his receivers though, and a lot of them are averaging over like 10 yards a catch.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're all in his route combinations. Most of them are like 15, 20 yards down the
Long
field.
developing plays.
Long developing plays. Not a whole lot of like 5-yard out routes, drag routes, hook routes. If he can shorten that up, it sounds super simple, but it really does. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Dude's won 7. And that's literally how he's won them, is taking the checkdowns. There's nothing wrong with doing it.
No, I agree. I think that he's got to figure out how to shorten the field a little bit. I mean, we all are guilty of looking for the big play, especially in this Madden, where earlier on, before the updates, it really played into looking for those deeper routes because how busted zone coverage was and still is to an extent. So anyway, hopefully Finn's can figure it out.
Yeah, I don't think he's as far off as what some might think, though. But maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
Faz, last topic I want to bring up. Faz, we're talking about some good guys here today. We're trying to shine a little light out there. Josh Allen lighting up the scoreboard yet again. 3,300 yards, 34 tutties, and not to mention he was just beat by primetime 0-0-0. Gotcha, bitch. Yeah, can you believe it? But Faz has the win over Bomber. You've got some losses against Dan. I think you've got a loss against Bomber this year, right?
Yep.
I mean, Faz has got that win. So it's going to be interesting, the playoffs, dude. Who do you think comes out of that AFC three-headed monster?
You know what? I've been pretty calm about making any bold predictions, but I'm gonna put the X mark on my back, and I think I'm back. I got my swag.
Ooh,
It's taken a while. It's taken a while for me to adjust to the game. Yeah, I don't play like Dan, Bomber, and Faz, and I don't watch the YouTube. But hey, so it takes me a while, and I think I've got my swag back. So the Chiefs are coming out of the AFC this year.
Wow. All right. I think that's the time to shut this show down. We're not going to be able to one-up that topic. Prime guarantees an AFC champion Chiefs this year. He's trying to get to the Super Bowl, punch the ticket. Patty Mahomes, he traded off Mecole Hardman. Still scratching my head on that one a little bit. But Tyreek Hill, not the best move. Appreciate you guys watching. Let us know if you enjoyed SML the Brodown. If you're checking us out for the first time or you're looking for a league, SidMaddenLeague.com. DaddyLeagues.com/SML. Unless we go to a different product, you never know what might be out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you never know.
Hey, make sure you're tweeting your tweets. Tag at SimMaddenLeague. That way you can get a like or a retweet. Appreciate you guys for all that you're doing. Keep on keeping on. Like, subscribe. Take care. Have a great day.